Welcome back to Enigmatic Echoes, the place where legends breathe, history whispers, and sleep becomes optional. I'm Jazz. Tonight, we're stepping into one of the most argued over mysteries on Earth. A creature mocked in cartoons, printed on bumper stickers, and turned into beef jerky commercials. And yet, behind all the jokes are terrified witnesses, experienced outdoorsmen, police officers, entire families, people who swear they saw something impossible. So tonight, we explore two paths. Story 1, Bigfoot as a real unknown creature. Story 2, Bigfoot as something else entirely. Misidentification, folklore, mass fear, or maybe something stranger. So lock your doors, check your windows, and if you hear heavy footsteps outside, just remember, I never told you to live near trees. Bigfoot, also called Sasquatch, is described as a large, hairy human-like creature said to inhabit forests, especially in North America. Typical descriptions include a height of 7 to 10 feet tall, broad shoulders, dark brown or black hair, powerful odor, long arms, massive footprints often 15 inches or more, silent movement despite huge size. The word Sasquatch, the original term is often traced to the Saskats, or similar regional pronunciation meaning wild man or hairy giant. Now, an important note, many indigenous cultures had stories of forest beings long before modern Bigfoot became famous. That means this legend did not begin with television. It may have simply been renamed and commercialized, because apparently capitalism saw a giant woodland ape and thought, can we sell mugs of that? Anyways, back to the story. Long before newspapers used the term Bigfoot, cultures across North America told stories of giant beings in the woods. Examples include Stiyaha of the Coast Salish traditions, Bukwas, wild spirit associated with forest and loneliness, giant hairy mountain men in multiple tribal oral histories, warning tales of beings who steal food, mimic voices, or punish disrespect toward nature. Now this matters, because skeptics often ask, if Bigfoot were real, why no discovery until modern times? But these stories existed for centuries, maybe not as zoology, but as memory, as warnings, as myth tied to landscape. And myths often begin where facts become too dangerous to explain directly. The name Bigfoot exploded in 1958 in Bluff Creek, California. Workers found enormous footprints around a logging site. The prints were published in newspapers. The public became obsessed. Soon, America had a new monster. But decades later, one man, Ray Wallace, was linked by family members to prank footprints using carved wooden feet. So case closed? Not exactly, because sightings happened before Wallace and continued long after. Meaning, one of two things happened. One, a prankster accidentally created a global legend from nothing, or a prankster exploited an already existing mystery. Honestly, both sound very human. No Bigfoot story can ignore the most famous footage ever recorded. Bluff Creek, California. Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin were horseback riding when they captured film of a large, hairy figure walking across a creek bed. The figure turns briefly toward the camera, then continues walking. Known simply as Patty. For decades, people argued, man in suit, real unknown primate, hoax with extraordinary detail, cultural phenomenon. Supporters claim natural muscle movement, proportions unlike normal humans, smooth stride, visible breast tissue suggesting female anatomy. Skeptics claimed costuming possible, lack of physical evidence, filmmakers had motive for fame. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Even with modern enhancement, nobody agrees. It remains one of the most debated clips in cryptid history. Which is fitting because blurry footage is basically Bigfoot's preferred love language. Now let's go to 1970s, Olympic Peninsula, Washington. Dense evergreen forest, rain tapping leaves. A solo hunter moved quietly through brush before dawn. Then he heard something pacing him, not deer, too deliberate. Step, pause, step, pause. He stopped. So did it. He walked again. So did it. He later described a growing dread, a sense of being measured. Then from 30 yards away, a tree limb snapped. He turned, and standing between trunks was a dark, upright shape. Massive shoulders, head low, arms hanging far below the waist. It didn't charge, didn't growl, just watched. The hunter raised his rifle and couldn't pull the trigger because he said it looked too human. When he blinked, it moved behind a tree. Then it was gone. No crashing footsteps, no panic, just absence. He left immediately, never hunted there again. This style of report appears repeatedly across decades. A family driving a forest road at dusk, children half asleep, radio low. Then headlights hit something across the road. At first, they think bear. Then it stands, 2 legs, long stride, dark fur reflecting gold in the beams. One witness from a Pacific Northwest case described the creature stepping over a roadside ditch like it wasn't there. Another said its eye shine appeared red, though eye shine reports vary and may reflect lighting angles. The father accelerated, the mother turned around in her seat, and one child later said, "It looked back at us like we were the animals." That sentence alone would have ruined my week. Many reports don't involve visuals. They involve sound. Witnesses describe deep whoops carrying across valleys, wood knocks, loud strikes against trees, heavy footsteps circling camps, screams unlike known animals. Now, important reality check. Owls, foxes, elk, cougars, and even branches under temperature stress can create terrifying sounds, but some recordings remain unexplained. The famous Sierra sounds from California are often cited, strange vocalizations recorded in remote wilderness. Experts disagree sharply on authenticity. Still, if you've ever been in deep woods at night, hearing something vocalized that you can't identify, logic weakens quickly because reason sounds smaller after midnight. What if Bigfoot is a perfect storm? Misidentification. Bears walking briefly upright. Humans at distance. Shadows, poor visibility, fear-altering memory. Folklore amplification. Hear story first, then interpret sounds through that lens. A snapped branch becomes evidence. Hoaxes. Fake tracks, costumes, attention seekers. Psychological patterning. Humans are wired to detect faces and bodies in chaos, especially in forests. We evolved to notice predators quickly, sometimes too quickly. So maybe Bigfoot is not one creature, but thousands of moments where uncertainty wore fur. Some reports go beyond biology into weird territory. Creature vanishes suddenly. No tracks despite mud. Strong electrical feelings. Missing time. Light in woods nearby. Now these claims are controversial and unsupported by mainstream science, but they exist in witness testimony, which creates a split in Bigfoot culture. Some see an undiscovered animal, others see paranormal intelligence, interdimensional traveler, forest guardian. Honestly, if I were Bigfoot and had to hear humans argue about me nonstop, I'd disappear too. The classic skeptical question, fair one, why no body? Possible explanations offered. Scavengers rapidly destroy remains. Remote terrain rarely searched. Small population means rare deaths discovered. Misidentified bones already found. Skeptics counter. Large mammals leave evidence. Hair, scat, teeth, corpses, consistent DNA, and so far, no universally accepted specimen exists. That's the strongest argument against Bigfoot as a biological species, and it deserves respect. Mystery should never fear scrutiny. Because Bigfoot may represent something deeper, the wild man, the boundary between civilization and nature, the idea that something older than us still lives beyond streetlights. In a world mapped by satellites, Bigfoot says, no, you still don't know everything. The idea is powerful, terrifying, comforting, and addictive. Now here's a final campfire tale. A camper in Oregon once described waking at 2 a.m. No wind, no insects, no sound. Then one heavy exhale outside the tent. Close enough to move fabric, he froze. Then came footsteps, slow circles around camp. Crunch, pause, crunch, pause. He gripped a flashlight and never turned it on. At dawn, he found nothing disturbed. No food taken, no claw marks, no prints, just silence. And one pine branch twisted off 6 feet high. Maybe prank, maybe animal, maybe story. But he packed immediately because sometimes proof matters less than instinct. So what is Bigfoot? A hidden species? A cultural mirror? 1,000 mistakes tied together by fear? Or a real thing that learned long ago the safest place to hide is inside disbelief? Maybe the truth is somewhere in between, because legends survive when they contain just enough reality to keep breathing. And Bigfoot still breathes somewhere between the trees. If you enjoyed tonight's walk through the woods, hit like, follow, and share Enigmatic Echoez with someone who swears they'd survive in the forest. They wouldn't. Also, follow us Instagram and YouTube at Enigmatic Echoez Podcast for visuals and more eerie content. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and if something whistles outside your tent at 2 a.m., congratulations, you live there now. Good night.